Bruh. It's been 24 hours. I'm still living off the high that was seeing I almost said seeing Michael Jackson in concert. That's how it felt. But just 24 hours from going to see the Michael Jackson biopic. Michael, there's so much to get to. A lot of positive, some negative. We're going to get to in this review. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen this movie, I guess you pause this, go to your local movie theater, come back and watch this, because there's a lot I got to talk about in so little time, which was the Michael Jackson movie in a nutshell. Bro, first of all, Jafar, you and your daddy, y'all got some explaining to do, or as Ricky Ricardo would say, some explaining to do, Lucy, because there are times in this movie where I'm like, are we sure that Jafar Jackson is the nephew? Are we sure he's just a nephew? Are we sure? I'm being serious. Because Jafar had Michael Joseph Jackson down to a T, from the facial expressions to the mannerisms to the eyes, like how he would look in his eyes, to the dance moves, to the voice. I'm like, there's no way this is AI. AI ain't that damn good. To the voice, he had him down to a T. Like, bro, I felt like I was watching Michael Jackson, bro. And with respect to all the other biopics, I never watched a biopic where I felt like I was watching Michael. I felt like I was right next to him. Like I could almost reach out and touch him. I was almost there. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. There's someone we have to talk about. Diana Ross is so pivotal in the upbringing of Michael as an artist. Him and his brothers lived at her house once they joined Motown. You got to talk about that. How he meets Quincy is through the Wiz. We didn't talk about that. That's something that I really wish we would have saw. But again, because Diana, you can't talk about the Wiz, I'll talk about Diana. So it's like Diana not giving the blessing to present her in the movie and cutting out all her scenes. They had to re-edit and rewrite the movie in a sense, and I'm very disappointed in that. At the end of the day, this is about Michael. It's not about you. And whatever you're trying to preserve, I don't know why you didn't want to be a part of it. I think a lot of us can assume why. But I'm very disappointed in Diana. I'm very, very disappointed in you, Diana. But yeah, first of all, the experience, it felt like going to the theater and watching this movie. I said it to my homie Sasha. Shout out to Sasha, my sis. Like that's true to my family. The way she's got seats that were literally like front row. Like there's a pit and then there's a front row. And we got center seats, front row to this movie theater, to this movie. But yeah, so we get into the theater. There's not really a lot of costumes, cosplay or anything like that. But there's a certain air, like you can just feel the energy. Like it just, I can't even explain it. It's like, okay. And so I'm waiting. They're doing the previews. I'm like, damn, when are they gonna start the movie, right? And so literally right before the movie, anytime I get antsy or bored or whatever, I'll just start singing. That's what I do. Like I just start singing. And so I start singing. And would you know it, when the movie starts, I'm not making this up. When the movie starts, they do the live version. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And so they start off the movie with Michael doing the walk up to the Bad Tour. We know it's the Bad Tour because of the getup. And he's hyped. And then they fade into going back to Gary, Indiana. We get to my first criticism. So after we get to Michael getting beaten by Joe, because it showed that. I'm like, there's no way they're not going to show this, right? We get to Michael being discovered by Gladys Knight, which I'm glad they showed that, and Suzanne DeBassi. And they were singing Never Can Say Goodbye. And I'm like, huh? But Motown wrote Never Can Say Goodbye. Like, there's no way they're going to sing a song that hasn't been created yet. So that was the first one. I was like, oh, okay, I see where we're about to go into. All right. I already was like, all right, I see where we're about to go. All right. And so, yeah, they show the Jacksons jumping to get into Motown, and little Michael in the studio, and his feet won't stop dancing, won't stop moving. And Barry's like, Michael, can you please stop moving? I forget what song it was. It might have been I Want You Back. I think it was I Want You Back. And young Michael just keep on dancing. It's like, Barry like, Michael, I need you to stop moving your feet, man. We can't get the recorder the way we need it, bro. So I found out to be funny, man. And then they had this moment where young Michael got to actually show off his vocal chops. When I tell you, when he was singing Who's Loving You, you can hear a pin drop, the whole theater was like everybody just gasped. We're like, what the fuck? Like, that young boy was singing. You hear me? Not singing. He was singing. When he sang Who's Loving You, like, I looked over to my homie, I was like, bruh. I think the most pivotal part, they also showed Berry Gordy trying to show young Michael like how the studio works and doing certain things, what EQ means. But again, we didn't get a lot of young Michael. I think the most pivotal scene with young Michael was the scene at the dinner table with him and his mama, Catherine, to where he's trying to sell Catherine on trying to get this pet. I forget what the pet was. And Catherine was like, I'm not bringing no wild animals into my house. And it's like, yeah, I think we could get a different pet. And Michael's like, they're not pets, they're friends. And was like, oh, you need a hug right now, Michael. I'll hug you right now. Like, bro, that whole conversation they had when young Michael was like, they're not pets, they're friends. And Catherine was like, but I want you to have like actual human friends, people your age that you can hang out with. And young Michael was like, I can't have that because I'm different. Like, everybody treats me different. And we get into Catherine telling Michael, you are special. You have a purpose for your life that I know you're gonna succeed or whatever. And I love the conversation they had of Michael early on did not have a true childhood. And then he jumped to right before Off the Wall. He wants to do a solo album and he's afraid to talk to Joe. And so he's talking to the people at, I want to say Epic, and like, hey, can you talk to Joe about me want to do a solo album? And they're like, sure. like, everybody played this was hilarious because we all knew like, oh shit. Joe Jackson was like, yo, from 9 to 5, his ass belong to me. Now, whatever you do after 9 to 5, at 12 o'clock, if you want to work on whatever, he could do that. But from 9 to 5, his ass belong to me. So it's this constant struggle of Michael trying to get his independence away from his family, away from his dad, and do his own thing. But he doesn't have the courage, nor he doesn't know how to do it, right? We get to Michael working with Quincy and doing Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And right before he starts the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough recording in the studio, they show Michael doing the affirmations of, you're strong, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, right? You're the greatest. Like, he's saying all these affirmations before he starts recording Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And Quincy's like, you good, Mike? And Mike's like, yeah. And so I love that. And then they show Michael singing Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And it's showing a compilation of how big Don't Stop Till You Get Enough gets and how big Off the Wall gets. And he's doing all these great things. And I just love like the jump cuts between that and him singing and the effect that Off the Wall has on the world. And that was very dope how they did that. But yeah, they also have a scene, I think before this, to where Michael's in his room. We actually get to see his room. Like my homie Layla talks about this all the time. Like we never get to see Michael's room ever. We actually got to see his room, or what was close to his room. It looks, oh my God, that's definitely Michael Jackson's room. Oh my God. With the success of Off the Wall and all this fan mail, he's still making rounds to go to different hospitals and do different charities and donations, because that was a big part of Michael's being charitable, is outreaching to the less fortunate. Like that was a big part of who Michael was, and I'm glad they show that. And he's talking to young kids, and he's speaking to them as if they're just regular people. He's not acting like he's above them. He's not acting like he's this big superstar. He talks to them like they're his friend, and that's what Michael did. And God, man, like he's about to get me emotional right now. It's just, man, Michael, dog. Getting a nose job. After the success of Off the Wall, he says, I want to change my appearance. Yeah, we get to that moment, and such one of the most intense moments of the entire movie is Michael comes home from his nose surgery, and he's like looking down. He tries to beeline straight to his room, and Joe tries to talk to him. Michael is all bandaged up and has his big surgery, and Joe doesn't say a word. Didn't say a word. He's like he doesn't say a word. He just looks at it like. And so then we get to Michael talking to Bill, and like, man, I need to do my own thing. And Bill encouraged him, like, yeah, man, do your own thing, man. Like Michael was so dead set, like, I want to do something nobody's ever done before. I want to do. I got all these ideas. I want to get them out, and I can't do that under Joe, basically. And Bill, like I said, Bill was like, man, you got to do you, bro. And so I love that they showed a relationship. That was so important. I love they showed a relationship between Michael and his bodyguard. I don't think I mentioned that. His bodyguard and Bill, which also eventually became a father figure to him. And so we get to him going to the execs, to Michael sending a fax to his father about you have been terminated. And when I tell you, in the theater, when we see that long fax and Joe looks up at the paper, we're like, yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Yo, that was so funny. Everybody collectively, it's almost we were cheering on like we won the Super Bowl. Like, yes, yes, Michael. And just Joe's reaction again, freaking golly, Coleman Domingo, like his freaking facials and his mannerisms was so like Joe. And this is another pivotal scene that I loved in this movie, is when he talks to Catherine and Joe's like, I can't believe he fighting his own blood, his own father. Man, I'm about to get my belt. Where Michael? And Catherine's like, you're not about to do a damn thing. You're not about to do it. You're not going to do a thing, Joe. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Beat him? He's too grown. He's a grown man. He's going to do what he wants. He's going to do it whether you like it or not. I just love that scene from Catherine finally standing up to Joe, bro. I love that too, man. Like, golly. And I love they show the dynamic of Michael and his mom watching movies. And it showed young Michael too, studying James Brown, studying Fred Astaire, studying Charlie Chaplin, studying all these guys, right? There's one scene that was so hilarious where Michael was in the pool and he's like kind of like speaking to his brothers, so also speaking to God, like, I got to get these ideas out. I got to start writing, and I got to start being more diligent, or all my ideas are going to be given to Prince. And when he said that, it was like, that is so hilarious, because it's not in a spiteful or resentful way that he's trying to disrespect Prince. It's because Michael has so much respect for Prince, and Prince by this time was doing 1999. Like he was already, Prince was already doing amazing things, and he has so much respect for Prince. It's like, man, if I don't start doing my ideas and what's going on, like Prince, man, he's already here. And it's just the fact of he really believed like God was speaking to him. God was the one that was giving him the writing and the encouragement and the ideas to do what he was doing. And I just love they show that as well. And this is where we get kind of into the writing process of Michael, right? in the creation of Thriller, and he has these different sounds, and I love that we're showing him I forget what he was singing. It was I think it was "Wanna Be Started Something." I think he was starting the like they was showing him creating those demos without really showing us, and he has the songs on the vision board or the board, and he's trying to figure out what's the album title going to be. And meanwhile, he's watching TV and he's seeing the gang violence that's happening in the black neighborhoods with the Bloods, the Crips, and everything. And like, they show it in his face, in Michael's face, how much it got to him. And that's where he creates Beat It, right? And then not only does he create Beat It, he creates the music video. That's insane. I love they showed the behind the scenes of Michael creating the music video. And I'll say it wasn't all the way true to what happened, but just him explaining like dance and how it needs to flow. And it's just like, golly, Jafar, bro, you are knocking this out of the freaking park. And he had the jacket with the piano and the shirt. And then like they go from that until doing the short film Thriller. And Michael is now being more assertive and showing how he wants things done. And he's telling the director, well, not the director, the assistant, probably to the director, like they need to show, you think they can show the feet? Right? Like he's not being overly like, you think they can show the feet? Like I think it was Fred Astaire. Don't give me, you can quote me if I'm wrong. Talking about how, Fred Astaire always makes sure to get the feet, you know what I mean? That's very important. And so they're showing the like every angle of Thriller, right? And like again, it felt like we were there when they were doing the Thriller video, and it's like, my God, like what is happening? Like, bro, like it was just so overwhelming, bro. It was so overwhelming. So they're showing the different angles of doing the Thriller music video, and then they cut to Michael with John trying to get Billie Jean on MTV, and the exec was like, hey, or the president was like, yeah, but they don't allow black artists on MTV. The white suburban kids, it might scare them. I'm like, and again, I went to my homie Sasha, like, does he not understand that Michael's demographic by this point, the majority of them are white suburban kids? Like, who you think is buying the records? Like, especially in the United States. The white suburban kids, that's his demographic. Like, what are we talking about? And this is in 83. This 82, 83. They're still talking like this. After all the records Michael sold and all the other artists from Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye and Diana Ross and all these people, Aretha Franklin, all these records that all these artists sold, and you're still giving me but I don't know if we got to put a black artist on MTV? What? Jump cut to the Motown 25 performance of Billie Jean. Again, Jafar was Michael, bro. This might be where it truly felt Jafar was freaking Michael. He had every move down pat, but also he made it his own. I also love that he had little things where he made it his own. Of course, he got them in the whole stadium, and the whole arena. It felt like arena. The whole theater, we were right there with Jafar. We was right there with him when he was doing Billie Jean, bro. It really felt like we were there. And I love they showed a young kid being inspired and being in awe in the front row. Like, oh my God, he does the moonwalk and like, oh, and we all cheer like, yeah! Bro, I'm telling you, we were in Black Church, bro. And we get to Joe Jackson talking to Don King about doing the victory tour behind Michael's back. And Don King, shout out to Deion Cole, who played Don King, he brings up Pepsi. And we're like, oh, we're about to get here now. They show Joe talking to Michael about doing the victory tour. And Michael's like, I don't want to do that tour. And we saw a masterclass in Joe Jackson gaslighting and manipulating Michael and being like, so you really gonna let your family down? This is what you really gonna do? Do you understand that we're gonna protect you? That once you go out to the real world, because Michael still lived with his parents and family, by the way. It was very telling. He's like, you know, when you go into the real world, like, you're going to have a bunch of yes men and a bunch of people that are going to have your best intentions at heart, right? Now, part of what Joe was saying there was true. That's what's so sad. Like, part of what he was saying was true and would come into fruition down the line. But it's like, Joe, you still were overworking your kids. You always were mean. You always were selfish. You never truly listened. Like, look at Janet Jackson, who also wasn't in the movie. Look at Janet and how she didn't flourish until she got out from under Joe and did her own thing with control, right? It's like you only can be there to a point, and you have to let your kids be them instead of trying to control them and control every single aspect and gain money off them, right? And so Michael doesn't really say anything and just allows Joe to gaslighting him and manipulate him into doing the victory tour, which leads to the Pepsi commercial, which leads to Michael's hair catching on fire. And it was one of the most, probably, I could safely say, probably one of the most intense, nail-biting, like, gut-wrenching scenes I've ever watched. Even with American Dream, just the way they showed it, it made my heart drop. Like, I was shaking. It was a lot. It was a lot. We all knew it was coming, and it was a lot, bro. It was a lot. And then they showed Michael in the room with Catherine and Bill coming in, trying to get him food, and Michael was just distraught by this point. Like, they already told him that you're gonna need to wear a prosthetic wig, probably for the rest of his life. Wear a prosthetic wig, and that you're gonna have nerve damage. And I'm like, part of me is like, the fact that this dude was able to do anything close to what he did after this is amazing. But you're gonna have nerve damage and things of that nature. You're gonna be in a lot of pain, and this is where we introduce the medicine, and things of that nature, right? I'm like, damn, this is where it starts. But it also showed Michael after being emotional, and Catherine was like, I'm so sorry, I need to protect you. And Michael's like, this joke, I don't want to talk about it, but like, just Joe, he can't be stopped. He can't be stopped. There's no stopping Joe. But then he walks around, talks to some other patients in the burn unit, and I'm like, Michael, and he has the glove on. He has the freaking glove on, and he's touching the patient. I'm like, yo, oh my God, bro. And so then he goes and he's like, whatever we're getting from the lawsuit, from the incident, give it all to the burn unit. Give every single dollar to them. I'm like, Michael, this is when I started really getting emotional. Like, this part, I'm like, Michael really cared. Like, bro, yo, man, like, I started getting really emotional during this time, bro. Like, damn, bro, like, Michael, like, man, golly, we didn't deserve this nigga, man. We didn't deserve him. And so, this is also where Michael has the epiphany, right? He's talking about, you know what? God gave me a second chance at life. I need to go my own way, and I'm gonna do this one last tour. But after that, this is it. But I'm gonna do this one last tour with my brothers. But after that, like, I gotta do my own thing. And so we show him doing the victory tour. And when I tell you the best part of this movie for me, and I probably can speak for a lot of people, when they do Human Nature, Jafar. All right, this part I don't even know. They sing Human Nature, and it felt like we were at the concert. We were at the victory tour in LA. It felt like we were there. The whole entire theater, like, you could feel it. Like, I felt like we were there. We all were singing like we were in concert. That is my favorite moment in a movie ever. Jafar, like, literally was Michael, bro. Like, I can't explain it either other way. And just God, like that moment, man, Human Nature, when he sung that, like it brought chills like through my body. Like like I got so emotional. Like I really felt like this is the closest I'm ever gonna get to a Michael Jackson concert ever. This is the closest I'm ever gonna freaking get. And it really made me emotional. And then the funny part is Michael, at the end of this tour in LA, or at the end of this concert, you know, they show him backstage putting off the Billie Jean jacket or whatever, or whatever shirt, put on the Billie Jean jacket. He's looking at Bill, and like they give like an unwritten code, a head nod. Okay, this is gonna be it. And so they do the working day and night. I love that song. They do the working day and night, and Michael's like, so I just want to let you know, like I love all you fans. We love you, my brothers. This will be the last time we're going to be on tour. This is going to be a farewell tour. And you see Joe Jackson's face drop. Like, it was hilarious. So you see Joe Jackson's face drop, like, and so then Joe, I'm sorry, that was so, it was a coming to Jesus moment. Like, and Michael walks away, and Bill not confronts Joe, but Joe's like, what do you think about you? What do you think you're doing, boy? Like, just understand, like, we gotta do an international tour, and Michael just walks off. And Bill just like, it's over, Joe. And we jump cut to the bad. Oh, by the way, I gotta point this out. Marlon was actually in the movie. Like on the Victory Tour, Marlon was playing Marlon. Right? I was like, that is so insane. Like I don't think anybody caught it. Or maybe I don't know, but I was like, yo, that is freaking Marlon. Oh my God. Also, in the Victory Tour, Prince was behind Michael right before Michael decides to quit the tour. Like, I love that little Easter eggs there too, but that was really dope. But then, yeah, we get back to the very beginning of the movie where Michael is walking up to go on stage. He looks back at Bill, and Bill's like, yeah, right? And we get him performing Bad. And my God, again, Jafar, he was Michael. He didn't even hit the little move like oh my God. He was hitting the dance like, yo, man, Jafar, dog. So they end the movie with Bad, and he finally has his independence. He finally is on his own, doing his own thing. And he's completely, has complete euphoria. He's happy. And that's how we end the movie with Bad. I understand the criticisms of Michael Jackson fans, not the media. F the media. I'm not even here to talk about them. We already know the plot that you're trying to do. There's a few things. Also, Randy. Where was Randy at? Why did he give the go-ahead? I don't know why he didn't give the blessing either to be a part of the movie. They never showed him at all. Janet. Also, I don't understand why. I don't get it, but it is what it is. But again, I think there were certain important moments in Michael's life that weren't able to be captured. Showing the relationship between him and Berry Gordy, I think we should have seen more of that. I think he was on Motown where they had Smokey Robinson, The Miracles, you had Supremes, Stevie Wonder, you had all these great artists. I think you could have gave at least like a 30-second compilation of Michael being in the studio, seeing all these all-time great artists, which is part of why Michael became who he was. I feel like that was missing from here. The Grammys where he was snubbed the first time with Off the Wall. That was very pivotal in his creation of Thriller. To make an undeniable album, which Off the Wall was undeniable, but to make just a undeniable album, greatest selling album of all time, I think you had to show the Grammys where he got snubbed at Off the Wall, but we didn't show that. So those are just a few things the one thing I'm very disappointed is Diana Ross not showing up and not showing the Grammys. I think that's two pivotal things that there's no way to, and his meeting of Quincy. Also, I feel like that's very important that we didn't get to see that. So I definitely understand the criticisms of that. And lastly, I brought up before, I understand that it happened around Thriller and we jump cut directly from Victory Toward the Bad, was the vitiligo. I feel like that was also something very important that we didn't touch on at all. That I kind of feel a way about, but I get it. But yeah, we could have talked about that as well. Again, I think this movie was solely about Michael and his independence and him becoming Michael and the tug of war between him and his father and him and his family trying to be his own person. I think that was very important. So as a writer, as someone who understands that, I think originally this movie was supposed to be 4 hours and they had to literally cut it down to 2.5. I get it. I understand it. So, yeah, I'm disappointed in a few things, but I also get it. So there's always so much you could do, but if there is a 4-hour version of this movie, we need to drop that motherfucker, like either on streaming or DVD, however you're going to do it. I do not care. We need to see the 4-hour version of the movie. So that's something that we need to do. Understand it's supposed to be a second movie, but there's a few things we need to see some things. So, but overall, I would say it's a very, very good movie. Damn near a great movie. Me personally, I'll probably give it 8.25 out of 10. Just because there's a lot of timeline jumps that I felt like kind of took away from some of the pivotal moments that we didn't get to see. I wish we would have got to that, but still overall had a very fun time, had a great time. Again, I was on a Michael Jackson high for a good 24 hours, like just in good spirits. And I'm just so glad that we portrayed Michael in a positive light when so many docs, so many movies, so many things have come out in death and before his death of trying to tarnish his legacy, his name, who he was as a human being. And I think they did a hell of a job. If nothing else, they did a hell of a job of showing who the human being Michael Jackson was. So overall, I'm satisfied. I am happy. And we do need a part 2. And so we'll see what happens. But let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. What do you think they could have done different? Are you happy with the overall product? Let me know. Overall movie, let me know. Oh, before we go, one last thing I have to speak of. In the scene where Michael was crying after the Pepsi incident in the hospital bed, when he turned over and he started crying or his eyes welled up, tell me why there was a baby that was pretty silent the whole entire movie. When Michael started crying, the baby started crying. Sasha can attest, my sister can attest, when Michael started crying, the baby started crying. And there was no other point in the movie that you could hear him or her. Like, that is insane. As soon as Michael started crying, the baby started crying, bro. I can't make this up. Michael is different, bro. Michael is freaking different. But yeah, shout out to Michael. We love you. We miss you. You're going to be here forever and ever and ever. We're not going to allow anybody to play on your name. We're not going to allow people to talk down on you. We love you, Michael. So it was a great experience. And like I said, like, comment, subscribe, share all the things. Ain't got to go home. Do got to get to stepping. Peace.
Was over. There ain't no use talking it over. Yeah. Or can you try to tell me sooner?